Vivian Vance harbored an intense disdain for him, stronger than she had ever felt toward anyone else. Born Vivian Roberta Jones on July 26, 1909, in Cherryvale, Kansas, she was raised in a strict religious household in America's heartland. Despite her mother's disapproval, Vance developed a deep passion for the performing arts from an early age. Music and acting became her refuge, offering her both comfort and excitement. Determined to follow her dreams, she trained in drama under the esteemed Ava Legolen and eventually relocated to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where she immersed herself in the local theater scene. These early years were crucial in refining her craft and setting the stage for a career that would later thrive in both theater and film. The 1930s marked a pivotal moment in Vivian's life when she moved to New York City. There, she graced the Broadway stage in numerous productions, including Anything Goes and The Voice of the Turtle, where her talents as both an actress and singer began to shine. Her impeccable comedic timing, expressive facial acting, and magnetic stage presence earned her widespread acclaim, eventually catching the eye of Hollywood. While her initial film roles were minor, her theatrical work drew the attention of producer and writer Jess Oppenheimer, who would later cast her in the role that would define her legacy. Vance's career reached another milestone when she took over for the iconic Kay Thompson in the 1937 Broadway musical Hooray for What? This lively and spirited production served as a major stepping stone, proving that Vance could command leading roles with confidence. However, it was her next major performance in Cole Porter's Let's Face It, 1941, that cemented her status as a Broadway star. Playing the role of Nancy Callister, Vance delivered a performance that critics and audiences alike celebrated. Sharing the stage with luminaries such as Danny Kaye, Edith Meiser, and Eve Arden, her portrayal became one of the show's standout features. The musical enjoyed an impressive run of 547 performances, a testament to its success and Vance's growing reputation. Let's Face It not only solidified her place in Broadway history, but also established her as a dependable and gifted performer in large-scale productions. While her theatrical achievements were a cornerstone of her career, Vance also explored opportunities in film during the 1940s. Following her appearance in a 1947 revival of The Cradle Will Rock, she made the decision to relocate to California, seeking fresh prospects in both theater and cinema. The West Coast offered new possibilities, allowing her to expand her artistic horizons beyond Broadway. During her time in Los Angeles, Vance appeared in 2 films, showcasing her versatility in adapting to the demands of cinema. In The Secret Fury, 1950, she took on the role of Leah, a sharp-witted chambermaid, infusing the character with a compelling mix of resilience and emotional depth. Critics lauded her performance, confirming that her acting prowess was just as captivating on screen as it had been on stage. In The Blue Veil, 1951, Vance took on the role of Alicia, a character that highlighted her impressive versatility as an actress. Her performances in these films garnered favorable reviews from critics, who praised her compelling screen presence and her remarkable ability to fully embody diverse characters. The year 1951 proved to be a turning point when Vance was cast alongside Lucille Ball in I Love Lucy, a television series that would go on to become one of the most iconic sitcoms in history. As Ethel Mertz, the quick-witted, fiercely loyal, and delightfully sardonic best friend and neighbor to Lucy Ricardo, Vance demonstrated an extraordinary talent for playing the straight woman to Ball's outrageous antics. Their on-screen chemistry was electric, solidifying them as one of television's most cherished comedic pairings. Off-screen, however, Vance and Ball shared a complicated yet enduring friendship that spanned decades. Though their relationship had its tensions, they maintained a deep mutual respect and affection, both as collaborators and as friends. In 1954, Vance made history by winning the first-ever Emmy Award for Best Supporting Actress, a milestone that underscored the significance of supporting roles in television comedy. Her portrayal of Ethel Mertz was revolutionary in many ways, presenting a strong, humorous female character who was far more than just a sidekick to the male leads. She was a comedic powerhouse in her own right. With her sharp wit and relatable warmth, Vance often served as the grounding force amid the show's more absurd scenarios. By 1965, Vance's career took another notable turn when she joined the cast of The Lucy Show, a sitcom that became one of the defining series of the decade. After several successful seasons, her television work further cemented her widespread recognition. However, following her departure from the show, she sought to reignite her film career. She accepted a role in Blake Edwards' The Great Race, 1965, a light-hearted comedy starring Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Natalie Wood. The film, a whimsical departure from some of her earlier, more serious roles, achieved moderate success and even earned several Academy Award nominations. Vance viewed this project as a potential resurgence for her film career, hoping it would lead to more substantial opportunities. Unfortunately, despite its acclaim, The Great Race did not propel her Hollywood ambitions as she had hoped, and her aspirations for a thriving film career remained largely unrealized. Throughout her career, Vance's work in both theater and film showcased her adaptability and unwavering dedication as an actress. From her early Broadway days to her iconic role in The Lucy Show and her brief ventures into Hollywood, Vivian Vance's journey was one of resilience and reinvention. While she never attained the same level of cinematic stardom as some of her contemporaries, her contributions to the arts, both on stage and screen, left an indelible mark. Fans and critics alike continue to celebrate her legacy as an actress who infused every role with humor, heart, and depth. Behind the scenes, Vivian Vance's personal life was marked by complexity and hardship, including 4 marriages that each played a distinct role in shaping her emotional world. Her first 3 marriages ended in divorce, reflecting the personal struggles she endured even as she maintained a public image of warmth and humor. These early relationships were reportedly strained by the pressures of her career and personal challenges. The challenges in her relationship stemmed from deep-seated incompatibilities, compounded by the lingering effects of her conservative upbringing and ongoing mental health battles, including periods of severe depression. While details about her first 2 husbands remain scarce in public records, it's clear these marriages couldn't withstand the dual pressures of her burgeoning celebrity status and the relentless demands of Hollywood life. Her 3rd marriage proved both the most enduring and most problematic, an 18-year union with actor Philip Ober that spanned from 1941 to 1959. Ober, who maintained a modest acting career with occasional film and television roles, grew increasingly bitter as Vance's star rose, particularly during her meteoric success as Ethel Mertz on I Love Lucy. Multiple sources close to the couple reported that Ober's resentment manifested in emotional cruelty and even physical violence, his jealousy inflamed by Vance's professional triumphs and the public adoration she received. Though Vance never publicly confirmed these allegations, close friends and colleagues described a stark contrast between her radiant television persona and the private anguish she endured at home. This turbulent marriage undoubtedly shaped her subsequent personal and career choices, with many speculating the traumatic experience left her hesitant to pursue serious relationships for years afterward. A significant turning point came on January 16, 1961, when Vance entered her 4th and final marriage with John Dodds, an accomplished literary agent, editor, and publisher. Unlike her previous partners, Dodds provided the emotional security, mutual respect, and genuine partnership Vance had always longed for. Their relationship flourished through shared intellectual interests and unwavering emotional support, with Dodds creating the stable home environment that had eluded her during earlier marriages. The couple initially settled in Stamford, Connecticut, a sophisticated yet tranquil community that offered Vance respite from Hollywood's relentless glare. In Stamford, Vance rediscovered personal fulfillment through painting, local philanthropy, and becoming an engaged community member known for her kindness and generosity. This peaceful interlude lasted until 1974, when health considerations and a desire to reconnect with old friends, including her complex but enduring friendship with Lucille Ball, prompted their relocation to California. They established their final home in Belvedere, a serene Northern California enclave where, despite Vance's declining health, including multiple strokes and a breast cancer diagnosis, she continued creative pursuits with Dodds' steadfast support. Their marriage remained strong until Vance's passing on August 17, 1979, marking the end of a life that had brought laughter to millions while navigating profound personal challenges. For Vivian Vance, this final chapter represented the conclusion of her emotionally fraught romantic journey, with her last marriage standing in stark contrast to the turmoil of her previous relationships as a rare oasis of tranquility. To the vast audiences who faithfully watched I Love Lucy throughout the 1950s, Vance and William Frawley appeared to be the perfect comedic pairing, bringing to life Ethel and Fred Mertz, the cantankerous yet endearing landlords and confidants to Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. Their on-screen bickering showcased impeccable comedic timing and seemingly effortless chemistry, the hallmarks of consummate professionals. However, the reality behind the cameras told a dramatically different story. Vivian Vance harbored an intense, visceral dislike for William Frawley that surpassed any professional animosity she experienced in her extensive career. What viewers interpreted as skilled acting often reflected genuine personal antipathy. The roots of their mutual hostility stretched back to their initial meeting. Vance, a refined actress with classical training and extensive stage experience, was appalled upon learning that Frawley, a rough-edged, heavy-drinking character actor more than 20 years her senior, had been cast as her television husband. At the time, Vance was in her early 40s, maintaining an elegant and sophisticated appearance, while Frawley, in his mid-60s with thinning hair, possessed a notoriously brusque demeanor. Vance allegedly voiced her objections openly, declaring the pairing utterly implausible, remarks that deeply wounded Frawley's pride and ignited an enduring feud. From that moment forward, their working relationship became a tense standoff of thinly veiled contempt that persisted long after the show's conclusion. As I Love Lucy skyrocketed to unprecedented success, their professional friction intensified. Vance's meticulous approach to her craft, her dedication to rigorous rehearsals, careful script analysis, and precise comedic timing, clashed violently with Frawley's more casual, old Hollywood methods. He preferred quickly memorizing his lines and resisted script changes, often growing visibly irritated when scenes required multiple takes. Compounding these tensions was Frawley's well-documented drinking habit, which sometimes rendered him unpredictable on set. For Vance, a perfectionist who prized professionalism above all, these behaviors were unacceptable. She frequently accused him of intentionally disrupting scenes or undermining her performance through careless line readings and disruptive behavior. Frawley reciprocated this animosity with equal fervor. He bristled at what he perceived as Vance's pretentious attitude, and never forgave her early comments about his age and appearance. Behind her back, he employed a series of cruel nicknames, reportedly referring to her as the sack of doorknobs, or that fat broad, in private conversations. Their mutual loathing became so institutionalized that Frawley included a specific clause in his contract stating he would refuse to work with Vance should she ever leave the show. This provision came into play when CBS contemplated a Mertz-centric spin-off. Frawley immediately rejected the concept upon learning of Vance's reluctance to continue their professional association. By this point, their enmity had reached such toxic levels that neither could contemplate spending additional time together, even for substantial financial gain. Even after the show's conclusion and their professional separation, the bitterness endured. In later interviews, both avoided extensive discussion of each other, but when pressed, their lingering resentment surfaced unmistakably. Particularly disturbing accounts suggest Frawley openly celebrated upon hearing of Vance's cancer diagnosis in her final years, reportedly telling an associate, "That old bag finally got what was coming to her." Conversely, anecdotal evidence indicates Vance may have toasted with champagne upon learning of Frawley's 1966 passing, though this account may be apocryphal. Regardless, these stories illustrate the profound depth of their mutual hostility. This legendary feud occupies a unique place in television history, not only for its remarkable intensity, but for the extraordinary contrast it presented with their characters' warm, affectionate dynamic on screen. Their performances stand as a testament to consummate professionalism, having created one of television's most beloved couples despite a real-life relationship poisoned by contempt, mistrust, and the enduring animosity between these two performers remains one of the most shocking revelations for fans when examining the legacy of I Love Lucy. What astonishes audiences most is discovering that the beloved characters of Ethel and Fred Mertz, who appeared so perfectly matched on screen, actually harbored a deep-seated mutual loathing behind the scenes. For Vivian Vance, William Frawley wasn't merely a difficult co-worker. He represented the person she despised more intensely than anyone she had ever encountered throughout her entire lifetime. Vivian Vance, the cherished American performer celebrated for her legendary portrayal of Ethel Mertz on the groundbreaking television comedy I Love Lucy, succumbed to illness on August 17, 1979, at 70 years of age. Her passing signaled the conclusion of an extraordinary personal and professional journey that had profoundly influenced American popular culture and the entertainment industry. In her final years, Vance had been fighting a private battle against metastatic breast cancer, an aggressive form of the disease where malignant cells migrate from breast tissue to other vital organs, including bones, liver, and lungs. Throughout this health crisis, she demonstrated remarkable fortitude and dignity, surrounded by a devoted circle of family and friends who provided constant support during her most challenging days. During her twilight years, Vance had consciously withdrawn from public life, opting for a more secluded and tranquil existence in the picturesque Northern California community of Belvedere, located just north of San Francisco. In this peaceful setting, she maintained involvement in regional theater productions and civic engagements for as long as her physical condition allowed. However, the relentless advancement of her illness eventually took its toll. The medical landscape of the 1970s offered few effective treatment options for metastatic breast cancer, and the available therapies provided limited relief from the progressively debilitating symptoms. This was an era when oncological research was still in its relative infancy, leaving patients like Vance to face tremendous physical hardships with inadequate medical solutions. Despite the immense physical suffering caused by her deteriorating condition, Vance maintained extraordinary poise and composure throughout her ordeal. Her devoted husband, John Dodds, along with other cherished companions, provided constant emotional support during these most trying final chapters of her life. The marriage between Vance and Dodds had blossomed into an exceptionally nurturing relationship, with him serving as her unwavering pillar of strength through every stage of her medical struggles. Among the many friends profoundly impacted by her illness was Lucille Ball, her former co-star and intimate friend of many years. Historical accounts indicate that Ball made a poignant final visit to Vance's bedside, where the two women shared a heartfelt goodbye that beautifully encapsulated the profound connection they had cultivated through years of both professional partnership and personal friendship. The news of Vivian Vance's death resonated with genuine grief throughout the country, especially among devoted viewers of vintage television programming who had come to adore her sharp comedic timing, infectious charm, and remarkable acting prowess. Her unforgettable performance as Ethel Mertz had delivered countless hours of happiness to television audiences nationwide, while her significant contributions to television's most celebrated era earned widespread acclaim. Following her passing, an outpouring of heartfelt memorials emerged from fellow actors, entertainment journalists, and countless fans, all united in their admiration for her exceptional abilities, kind spirit, and permanent influence on show business. While cancer prematurely ended her life, Vivian Vance bequeathed a cultural inheritance that continues to motivate new generations of performers while bringing pleasure to contemporary viewers. Her artistic achievements live on through continuous broadcasts of I Love Lucy reruns, and her personal narrative stands as both a moving testament to human vulnerability and a powerful celebration of humor's enduring capacity to connect people across generations.